Hello and welcome back to the Data Privacy Lawyer. My name is Funmi and I'm the principal attorney at the firm. Today's review, we're going to be looking at an AI terms of use. I'm doing a series on the channel. We're going to be taking a look at these artificial intelligence public-facing documents that are appearing on many different organizations' websites. I've mentioned this before on my channel, but the work of a privacy lawyer is to make sure that organizations comply with data protection laws anytime personal data is processed. Now, for most artificial intelligence tools, I'm not familiar with all of them. There's a lot of sophisticated technology that's coming out on the market, but at a minimum, artificial intelligence will process personal data to some degree, if not to allow a user to log in to the tool, okay, at a minimum. Now, there's a lot of different functionality that organizations are using artificial intelligence for. There may be additional personal data in scope outside of a username and password. But the reason we're going to be looking at these AI terms of use is because a privacy lawyer generally will either draft or co-draft these terms of use with the AI team. Now, some organizations don't have artificial intelligence teams yet, but they do generally have at least somebody on staff that's participating in privacy. If the AI tool or system is going to process personal data, it's really important to take a look at one, what the obligations are of the organization, and then two, how the AI interacts with personal data, because there may be obligations outside of the personal data laws. There may be AI laws that need to be taken into consideration prior to the drafting of any terms of use. So I'm not familiar very much with this brand. I think they do like workout clothing or shoes. Leave a comment below if you know what ASICS is. But I want to take a look at the terms of use. This version was posted May 23, 2024. Now, there's a lot of details that are missing when I review these policies and terms, because I don't have internal knowledge into what these organizations are doing, but I can talk generally about what organizations should be thinking about if they are, one, utilizing artificial intelligence, and two, drafting any type of public facing document on their website that articulates how the organization operates internally, so that consumers of the products are able to have insight into how their data is being used. Okay. So these AI terms are a legal contract between you, and I'm not entirely sure who constitutes you, we'll probably find out below, and ASICS America Corp, and govern your access to. Now, when I saw this, I immediately knew there was going to be personal data. The minute I saw this term, access to, the fact that you're going to have access to any type of artificial intelligence tool or system indicates to me that at a minimum, you're going to be providing at least a username and at least a password, which constitutes personal data because it identifies you, okay? The fact that it governs your access to and use of any AI functions, programs, tools, and services of the website. I'm interested in what the functionality is for the website, and apply in addition to ASICS terms and conditions of use, okay? Privacy policy and all applicable product and service specific terms that are incorporated herein by reference as existing now, modified, or created in the future. This is just legal speak basically for saying that anywhere that this terms of use appears, it's the artificial intelligence terms of use are going to be applicable. That's basically what this means. Now, originally I had thought that this was going to be exclusive to the website, but it looks like it could be applicable to products and services specific terms that incorporate these terms of use, okay? In addition to the disclaimer included in the terms of use, the AI functions and any content included in the outputs are provided on an as-is and as-available basis, without any representation or warranty of any kind, whether express, implied, or statutory, including but not limited to warranties of merchantability, fitness for a particular purpose, title, or non-infringement on all uses and all purchases. I'm very intrigued about this disclaimer because I don't have the insight into which products and services are available. I also don't know how the AI affects the website. But what ASICS is basically saying is they're not going to be responsible for the content that's provided in the outputs. Now, my question would be, as a privacy counsel to ASICS, would be, what type of input are you allowing consumers to place into your AI tools, website, products, and services? How are you training the models and systems that you are putting out into the marketplace? Because it may be that there are some obligations you have as it pertains to outputs. And it might not necessarily be sufficient for you to say that the outputs are provided on an as-is and as-available basis, without any representation or warranty of any kind. I would have a lot more scrutiny into this particular sentence. Depending on the geography where the AI is being provided, there may be obligations as it pertains to outputs. particularly if the outputs are outputs that contain personal data. You may not be able to waive away your obligations just because you put a disclaimer on the site. Okay, but I don't know the tools. This is just me providing some insight based on my industry knowledge and what I see generally with a lot of organizations and reviews of terms of use. Okay, now I'm very intrigued about the fact that we haven't really seen much about personal data. We can see here ASICS uses technology and services provided by third-party service providers for the AI functions. Okay, now I'm going to read the whole sentence and then we're going to go through it. Any personal or other information you provide to the AI functions may be accessed, collected, retained, disclosed in real time and later, and otherwise used and processed in accordance with the ASICS privacy policy. Now, we're not going to look at the privacy policy. We're only looking at AI today. The reason I've highlighted this sentence is, one, I told you guys that AI generally at a minimum is going to process some type of personal data. I don't know the geographies in which ASICS operates. I presume at a minimum they operate in the United States. Now, there is some AI legislation associated with processing for organizations in certain geographies. It depends on where the organization processes personal data. That's going to influence the types of representations an organization is going to make in their terms of use. Now, I highlighted this because the AI terms generally will tie into the ASICS privacy policy. What a lot of organizations need to be doing is making sure that whenever they draft and publish their terms of use, they've also reviewed their privacy policy because it needs to align with what they're doing internally with personal data. I'm intrigued by this sentence. Any personal or other information you provide to the AI function may be accessed, collected, or retained. Why? There always needs to be a purpose when you process personal information. There have been 4 different manners in which personal data is going to be processed by the AI functions. Accessed, this is one form of processing. Collecting, one form of processing. Retaining, one form of processing. And disclosing, one form of processing. Processing is a broad term under data protection laws. Each one or each manner in which personal data is processed using the AI functions needs to be accounted for, and there must be justification for it. Okay, so I am surprised that there's not more insight into the privacy component. It may be that the AI functions use limited personal data, and that may be why. But that's something that would be reviewed with their privacy counsel and ensured that, they're able to maintain their obligations under data protection laws. Something else just caught my eye. I saw financial and I saw health. Okay. In the United States specifically, there are federal laws that dictate how personal data from a financial standpoint and a health standpoint have to be processed. And there are certain buzzwords or keywords that will spark my interest as a privacy lawyer whenever I am drafting or re-reviewing terms of use that are created by organizations, particularly if they're in these industries. Now, it may be that this is just a generic statement, but if we had more time, I would be reviewing all of the products and services that are offered by this organization to ensure that whatever their terms of use are in compliance with their obligations based on an industry standpoint, federal and state. So I really hope you enjoyed this review of the artificial intelligence terms of use. If your organization is looking for a privacy lawyer to draft or review your privacy program, take a look at my description below. I have lots of insights that I can share with your company, and I will see you in another review.